Fleetful followers, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give a food for thought, literally food for thought video. I've just recently done a live with Dr. Ariel on raw feeding. As you all know, raw feeding is becoming a craze. There's like a marketing hype going on at the moment and people think it's, it's good. I'll link the description in the description. I'll link the video in the description for you to have a look. But essentially, I'm just going to talk about my feelings after recording this live video, which is available on YouTube. Firstly, the type of people who tend to feed raw are staunch, proud to feed raw type people. They seem to feel like it's necessary to promote the fact that they feed raw and that kibble feeders are bad, and that they're proud and it's really, really important to feed raw. Not all, obviously. Raw is definitely not suitable for all dogs. So that's the first thing anyway. People are incredibly emotionally proud of this, and I thought it was great how Ariel said that whenever one of her owners feeds raw that come to her, because she's a vet, Dr. Ariel, and they feel proud but then sometimes a bit, should I, they're not sure if it should be what they're doing. Vets don't generally condone feeding raw. I mean, my second point I wanted to point out is there's a huge push on these companies pushing raw food. There's huge amounts of waste in the animal industry, in the meat industry, offal, bone, all of these non-human type products. And so that goes for so cheap. So these companies are literally just sweeping up all of this byproduct and squishing it up and putting it into raw, into plastic. So there's a huge incentive for them to be pushing raw feeding and high protein and eat lots of meat, without obviously the concern of the dogs or environment or animals, but mainly, we're a nutrition brand. It's the it's the health of the dogs that we're concerned with. But I'm hearing you say something now, okay? This is my third point. But isn't it good that at least we're using the waste products of animals? Surely it's good, right? Well, yeah, it's not though, is it? Because if you think about it, it's already becoming hard to get raw dog food. There's been a few shortages about in butchers. There's been a few shortages. Fleet, come here, girl. Just making sure she's here. There's been shortages everywhere. And people are going to have to start, they probably already are, buying human grade meat, which is just devastating really for the environment and the carbon footprint. Yeah, the demand of meat, of the increase in raw feeding and the demand of meat now is just because there's so many dogs, especially in the UK and the world after COVID. The population of dogs is huge and raw feeding is growing 15% apparently every single year. It's going up 15%. And it's not sustainable already to feed this much meat. But that's environmental concern. So let's go back to the health side of things. Dogs are wolves, aren't they? Well, actually, no, they're not. Over the last 20 to 40,000 years, dogs have evolved. Yes, there is this thing called evolution. And because dogs have been alongside us, protecting our animals and our livestock, protecting us from predators, feeding off the scraps that we give them. And you know what? We didn't give them much meat. Don't give them much meat. It's mainly vegetables and fruits and things that they scavenged off us. So their tummies have completely evolved now to be able to digest starches. And there's loads of studies out there, scientific studies, which say that dogs are omnivores. They're omnivorous. And yeah, they're part of other carnivores as well, if you look at the science behind it. But so are pandas, and pandas, you don't think pandas eat meat, do you? So yeah, dogs aren't wolves. Vets are noticing long-term health damage in dogs that particularly eat a high protein diet. So we've got a few things. So we'll go into a few. I've got them noted here. So, I mean, the first one, which I think is really worrying, because this is the same as in humans as well. If humans eat too much protein, then it impacts their kidneys in the long term. This is the same with dogs. So the other problem is, this is the huge one that people really should be, thinking about, especially with zoonoses and COVID and everything, is bacteria. So bacteria is on all raw food. That includes treats, so this rawhide that you get, anything that's raw contains bacteria, and the dog is consuming that bacteria, and hopefully they've got a stomach with enough good bacteria in their stomach to be able to process the bad bacteria that comes in, but also passing bacteria onto humans as well. So please don't feed your dog raw if you have children. Just please don't. But your dog could pass on that bacteria to anybody. Somebody who's pregnant, they could have it's been known to cause abortions, some of these bacterias. Yeah, just look into it. Look into the science of it, because it really is, it's bad. Other things vets have seen from a raw fed diet is pancreatitis. So that's because generally when dogs are fed raw fed, they've got a high fat diet. Ariel, in this live, Dr. Ariel explains what happens to the dog, and it's the pancreas stops working, and then the enzymes start eating all of the other tissues, and it's just debilitating, really. It's horrible. A raw diet lacks manganese, which, so if you don't supplement your raw diet in any way, then this could be a huge problem, which is a problem in itself, by the way. Owners just thinking that they can feed 80-10 or whatever the deal is. I'm not even sure how people work it out. You should be checking with a canine nutritionist to know if it's complete or not, really. But yeah, lacking in manganese, foods that are lacking in manganese, which happens with raw fed dogs, causes ligaments to snap. You would never connect it, would you? But yeah, which obviously causes severe arthritis in older dogs, and you've got vet bills all their lives, really. Other things that she mentioned, so you've got like the duck and the chicken trachea here, like, oh yummy. I've seen them on Instagram, and I just think, it contains the thyroid gland. So what happens is, and Dr. Ariel has seen a couple of cases like this, is they get hyperthyroid issues. So they're just everywhere all the time, and they're misbehaving, and they've got an overactive thyroid because of eating the thyroid. I think that's how it works. Again, look into it. But my thoughts on this, it's not good, is it? Imagine if you were feeding like 1 or 2 a week to your dog, and you were wondering why they're misbehaving and biting things and rolling around all the time. Did you know there have been no studies which have come to the conclusion that feeding dogs a raw-fed diet actually benefits their health? With all the money and the science and the companies and the backing that they have, I'm sure that if there were any benefits, they'd be able to find them. I'm sure 1 or 2 scientists or vets would be able to find benefits. So guys, if you feed raw, come on, do your scientific research, find find some, you know, if you're in the UK, find a UK study which shows that there is a benefit from feeding your dog a raw diet. Just research, please. This dogs or wolves thing is just not good enough. So that's it. My thoughts on the interview that I did with Dr. Ariel on raw feeding. If anybody's talked to me, I'm not one to tell you how to feed your dog. I'm not one to say you must feed vegan, you must feed anything. You know, every dog's different. It's important that owners know how to access information and to do their research. But if anybody, right, who feeds raw, please just go to a canine dietitian. Just go, just have a look at the popular canine dietitians in the UK. Just any vet, please just speak to a professional that knows what they're talking about. Otherwise your dog's going to end up with huge long-term issues. Somebody's going to get ill and you're going to be devastated, and you're just gonna, you know, please. Just look after the health of your dog. Do your research, because just because other people are saying raw is good, and just because these companies are saying raw is good, doesn't make it good. Do your scientific research and have a look. If you still want to feed meat, there's plenty of canine nutritionists out there who will come up with sensible meal plans where meat is gently cooked. There's loads out there, and they're all, you know, they can come up with FEDIAF approved recipes for you. Obviously, you know, you just need to kind of make sure that you're doing your research. If you want to start having a look at some vegan foods, have a look at what we offer. We offer nutritionally complete recipes as well. And then you know that you're getting everything that your dog needs. Yeah. If you want some more of this ramblings, please do like, subscribe, share with like-minded people as well. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other topics you want me to talk about, or any other lives that you'd like Dr. Ariel and me to do. Yeah, take care everyone. Lots of love. Stay healthy. Give your dog a cuddle. Mwah. Bye.